Hey, what's up you guys, Stoutmeister here, and today I'm going to be giving my 2 cents on Nick Jonas' recent guitar solo fail, along with my views on the music industry once again, more specifically the pop industry, while diving into the mindset of the individuals that are critiquing this recent event. So without further ado, let's dive right into this shit now, shall we? For those of you that haven't kept up with current events within the entertainment world, Nick Jonas recently performed at the ACMs along with Kelsey Ballerini, in which he had a guest guitar solo spot, and let's just say it sounded like someone's good day at Guitar Center. You know those music parody videos that feature offbeat drums and out-of-tune guitars and vocals that sound like they could be in a musical for a South Park episode? You know, pretty much like the Creed parody videos?
All I wanna scream is Kelsey! Yeah, I don't know why I'm always doing that. We're gay, oh yeah, that's right, we're gay. Asshole me, oh yeah. Now, stroke it. Oh, you do 5 days like, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's what Nick Jonas' guitar solo sounds like. And the fact that this happened in real time, in reality land, the fact that people saw this on their television sets, as well as physically witnessing it at the ACMs, it's just insane. But as shitty as Nick Jonas' guitar solo was, I do have to give him some props, and I have 3 of my very own reasons right here. The first reason being, Nick Jonas' attempt of a guitar solo still sounds a hell of a lot better than Lil Wayne's attempt of starting a rock career. Does anyone need a reminder of Lil Wayne's guitar skills?
Kill yourself.
Yeah, no thank you. Stick to your shitty rapping. Oh wait, you're taking up skateboarding now. I completely forgot. While you're at it, you might as well start a G3 reunion tour featuring yourself, Nick Jonas, and Fred Durst. And I'm gonna feel even more of an idiot in a few years, probably, if they even go through with this idea. So, yeah, feel free to beat the shit out of me for that if this ever happens. The second reason being, Nick Jonas did not want to play the typical cliche pop star and pretend to play guitar or lip sync. He actually wanted to showcase that he could attempt a guitar solo. And that is a huge one for me. And if you guys have watched me for quite some time, you guys know how much I hate lip syncing and people that pretend to play their instruments. I mean, hell, I called out Justin Bieber for this a few years ago. The third and final reason here. Nick Jonas seems to be able to laugh at himself. He seems to have a little bit of a sense of humor. He seems to have a little bit of thick skin, considering the fact that we live in a generation of self-entitled narcissists. More specifically, talking about his 2 tweets that he posted, more specifically his second tweet, and the fact that he can laugh at himself. I mean, that deserves huge props in my own personal opinion, but as far as that goes, that is as much respect as I'm gonna give you. And everything else, to dive into my views as to why I feel people are reacting the way they are with this current event, with this recent event, as well as my views on this whole thing. Not an easy feat, no, no, no. The biggest reason I feel that people are being so critical of Nick Jonas right now, and I'm talking about people that are either passionate music listeners or people that love creating music, whether as a hobby or whether they're doing this for a living, I feel that they're being very critical of Nick Jonas right now because Nick Jonas, along with his siblings, symbolize that you can go into the music industry, more specifically the pop industry, make millions of dollars a year, gather millions of fans, and do very little. Nick Jonas is a product of this. Nick Jonas is a product that you don't have to be creative, you don't have to know even basic music theory. All you gotta do is let the ghostwriters take care of everything, and you perform it. And we've seen this with Beyonce, we've seen this with Lady Gaga, we've seen this with Rihanna, Katy Perry, and all these other people. And even if they do write their own music, I'm not saying that all of them do not write their own music. However, they are being influenced by the mainstream, by the elites up there, that they have to write this sort of way. They have to dress a certain way. They have to do this in order to sell as many tickets to the concerts to teenage girls, as much music as possible to the teenage girls and the soccer moms as they possibly can, because that's where the biggest demographic of consumers are. That's just how the pop industry works.
We just want our concerts to be about our music, and not about purity rings.
Oh gosh, fellas, let me explain this to you one more time. You have to wear the purity rings because that's how we can sell sex to little girls. See, if we make the posters with little girls reaching for your junk, then you have to wear purity rings or else Disney Company looks bad.
I feel that people are sick and tired of this facade that the mainstream industry is putting out. I feel that people are getting sick and tired of musicians that are putting out this manufactured bullshit. I feel like that people are getting sick and tired of the way that the industry is pretty much set up to where you could work on your craft day and night and still barely get a gig at the House of Blues. My friend Dylan Furr actually made a very good point on Billboard's post. And it's not bad enough that Billboard said that Nick Jonas and Kelsea Ballerini rocked the night. Kelsea Ballerini pretty much saved it. And I'm not even a fan of country. But I can recognize talent in other genres when I hear it, when I see it. Kelsea saved it. If it was just Nick Jonas doing the guitar solo, and if it wasn't for the fact that he had the rocker look and he was doing the sidestep and all that other shit, yeah, it would have turned out a lot worse for Nick Jonas. Let's just state the facts here. I know some of you watching this video right now are going to be sitting there thinking to yourselves or commenting how I'm desensitized to this whole situation. Stoutmeister, what the hell do you know about performing live? What the hell do you know about what the Jonas Brothers have to go through? Well, first of all, I have performed live before, and I've had my fair share of screw-ups on the guitar as well. The difference is that Nick Jonas showcased someone that doesn't even know basic theory, and if he knew theory at one point, he was probably lifted up to a point that he got in his head that he didn't have to practice as much or pretty much do any of that anymore because he's making all sorts of money doing very little, doing jack shit in the industry. But as far as I want to go into my rant on that, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Jonas Brothers, particularly Nick Jonas, I'm not saying that they can't get nervous, but it's kind of hard to believe that they'll get nervous at an event like ACM Awards, considering the fact that we can just take a look at their career that has spanned over a decade, where they have spent time with Disney, where they have performed in arenas. It's kind of hard to imagine them being nervous at an award show when they have an extensive career, even if they were performing basic musical patterns with their instruments. I'm not saying that Nick Jonas needs to perform music like Angel Vivaldi, or Tosin Abasi, or Chimp Spanner, or all these other people that I may like. I'm not saying that Nick Jonas needs to be the world's greatest guitar player. Not saying that at all. As a matter of fact, there are people that are so technically improficient, yet they write some of the most phenomenal types of music. They paved the way for the music industry. However, the difference between Nick Jonas and some of those other people is that it seems like those other people didn't let the fame get to their heads, and they can actually improvise if they screw up, which is another double standard I'm going to tackle in this video right here. The whole double standard of, oh, if Carrie King made a mistake, or if Angel Vivaldi or Tosin Abasi made a mistake, then no one would bat an eye, but someone like Nick Jonas does it, then everyone just goes insane! Yeah, first of all, I'm not the biggest fan of Carrie King's playing, but I do understand that he helped pave the way for thrash metal and create thrash metal. But as far as making mistakes, at the very least, the other people that I listed, they can improvise. Like I said earlier, if you can improvise around your mistakes and not sound nervous as shit doing it, then yeah. And the fact that, again, Nick Jonas has an extensive career. He's performed in arenas. He's performed in all sorts of places. He's had all sorts of career opportunities off of doing very little musically, because the elites have pretty much told him that he has to write this sort of music. He has to write these sort of lyrics, because we have to sell this product to as many teenage girls and soccer moms as possible. And I know that that statement alone is going to get me in all sorts of trouble. I know that people are going to be calling me sexist, and people are going to be saying that, oh, look at what Stoutmeister said. He said that only idiot girls listen to this type of stuff. He's a sexist! When we can look throughout time and we can see who the biggest demographic for boy bands such as the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, the Jonas Brothers, Justin Bieber, One Direction. What is their biggest demographic again? Teenage girls and soccer moms in their 40s that can't get their attention span around any other type of music other than Pretty Boys and simple 4/4 beats that sound identical to one another, that are written by ghostwriters that write for a lot of these pop stars. Yeah, try to prove me wrong there, motherfuckers. While I'm saying that, there are other genres of music like rock, heavy metal, alternative, electronic, indie, and other sorts of genres that attract all types of people, whether we're talking about teen boys, teen girls, adult males, adult females, and people spanning in all sorts of categories. But yeah, there's going to be some of you that focus on that one little part that I said because your attention spans can't process anything else that's being said in this fucking video, because I said things that you didn't agree with, so yeah. Getting back onto the topic of Nick Jonas' guitar solo. As horrible as the guitar solo was, as disgraceful as I think it was, I'm not going to sit here and justify hurtful comments such as Nick Jonas and his brothers should just kill themselves, their lives are meaningless, and people pretty much saying those hurtful things just because they don't like their music. If you're talking about them as people, and you've actually had some experiences where you know they're douchebags, that's on a different level. But if you're just gonna say hurtful shit just because they put out music that you don't like, don't even fucking follow my channel. Just stop following me completely, because I'm not going to tolerate that sort of shit. However, if you want to make some jokes about the guitar solo, you want to make some memes, you want to be critical of their work, you want to talk about how you don't like their music and give actual reasons as to why you don't like their music, I'm all for that. As a matter of fact, that's pretty much what I did with this entire video right here. And I even made one of those meme expectation versus reality type of meme videos recently. You guys know my sense of humor. I have a pretty shocking sense of humor, but as far as being hurtful just to be hurtful, just because you don't like their music, yeah, if you're gonna say hurtful shit, at the very least, make sure that you're judging them based on their character and not solely based on their music, please. If you're just being an asshole, then like I said, don't even fucking follow me. I'm also not going to sit here and tell you that you can express your opinions on the music industry and how you feel it needs to be better. We all think it needs to be better. We're all sick and tired of the way that the mainstream industry is actually promoting people that put very little into the creative process and have very little talent. Hell, some of these people have phenomenal talent. Look at Beyonce, for example. She's got a good voice. She's got a great voice. Yet it took 4 people to write such an overly simplistic lyrical song that we know as single ladies. And this is a very common thing within the pop world, and I think a lot of people are actually catching on to this. Which is why I feel that people are being very critical of Nick Jonas, and they're giving the comments that they are. Some of them are handling it really well, some of them are just being assholes about it, but yeah, that's pretty much my views on this whole thing, and yeah, I might go into some more of my views on the pop industry in the near future, and my thoughts on ghostwriters and all that other stuff, and yeah, hopefully you guys like this video, and today's Thirst Quencher. I know Muggy's taking a little vacation right now, and I know you fuckers miss Muggy, but yeah, today's Thirst Quencher, Smart Water, because this thing has been helping me out throughout this entire video. Really good for quenching thirst. And yeah, so stay tuned for more videos. Take care, see you later. And queuing up a outro music to cleanse thine mind of this fucking bullshit.